Hey there, sir. How are you? You sit right next to Mr. Appler there. I don't know why he's here.
All right, we're live, fellas. You're tweaking them, aren't you?
The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start the meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom. Thank you very much. Okay, so I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None being said, so moved. Motion to approve minutes from the April 9th, 2018 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Motion to approve minutes from the April 23rd, 2018 Town Board meeting.
I'll make that motion. Second.
I have to, I can't vote on it because I was out on vacation.
Mr. Baker was two, just us three.
Mr. Baker, too. So we got 3 votes.
Yes, you.
Aye.
All in favor, aye. The ayes got it.
Ayes have it.
All right, authorize the payment of bills in the amount of $191,252.99. I need a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I see, Charlie, you got your equipment.
You did.
I went through the
Yeah.
receipts, and I was happy to finally see it.
So, with none being opposed, we're going to pay the bills. Comments on the agenda. Anybody have any comments on the agenda? Okay, moving forward. Presentations, I don't see Vinny here. Maybe he'll pop in later. And it was about the 2018 summer concerts. I think we have it on the website already. I'm not sure. I'll make sure. I know that he has booked for the 4 Fridays. All right. So it's a report of department and boards. Of course, you know I was out 2 weeks. Thank you very much for the board. Scott Corcoran leading the, with Mr. Molinelli and Mr. Councilman Koenig. Thank you very much, guys.
Hope you guys had fun.
We did.
Certainly
Even
did.
though I was on the phone most of the time with you.
I know I texted you.
I wasn't on the phone at all.
I know.
I was answering from Italy, that's all I could tell you.
I told you.
He answered from Italy a bunch of
I
times.
know I got yelled at by Alan. Anyhow, so I met with representatives of Nexamp to discuss solar farm. They're the ones that I sent you that actually gave us a proposal of 2 megawatts.
That's good.
So it's looking better. Met with Councilman Baker and Lisa Carver of Central Hudson to discuss LED lighting project for Marlborough. I also gave the short version that she sent me to the board, and maybe we could discuss that tonight, how the board feels about getting that done. Councilman Corcoran and I met with representatives of the PBA to discuss upcoming contracts with the police. We're going to meet again shortly with Chief Gakosa. Of course, the vacation from the 14th to 25th. Attended the Ulster County IDA meeting to discuss town project on Route 9W. That was the 40,000 square foot pods warehouse. That went very well. Met with school superintendent Monica Brooks to discuss Ulster County Satellite College proposal. I reported once before that Mr. Gerentine, legislator Gerentine, met with Mr. Brooks, myself, and I guess that's still ongoing, so it's not quite dead. Attended Ulster County Police Chief Awards banquet with Chief Kokoza. Thank you very much, Chief. That was good. I enjoyed myself tremendously, and Congressman Gibson was there promoting his book, which was pretty good. Did a great speech. Worked with Jolly Rovers on the trail organization to build trail at Milton Landing Park. That's ongoing. I think there was 3 of us that could make it, and it was pretty exciting. And we taught how to move big boulders with different types of tools. And I met with town department heads and Councilman Corcoran to discuss audit of time cards. And I would add that we met today, Howard, the trail people, with Mr. Baird, and that was very rewarding. I don't know what happened afterwards. Maybe you could discuss it during the meeting.
Yeah.
So moving forward with reports. Who's up next? Come on.
Corcoran. Building inspector.
Building inspector. Tom's not here, so would you read it,
I-
please?
Yep. All right. Month of April 2018, certificate of occupancy 2, request for information 10, trailer park renewal 6, building extensions 8, fire inspections 4, fire calls 3, stop work orders 1, ZBA application 0, order of remedy 14, complaints 31. Wow. Burn permits 3, and clothing bin renewal 0, building permits 26 total. 1 electrical generator, 1 furnace boiler, 4 demolition, 1 tank installation removal, 1 stove, wood stove pellet, 1 pool, hot tub, 2 sheds, 4 roofs, 2 additions, renovations, 2 decks, stairs, 3 burning, 1 carport garage, and 3 solar panels. So the estimated cost of building, $281,170. Certificate of occupancy, 300. Request for information, 1,000. Building extensions, 800. Trailer park renewals, 2,525. Building permits, 4,307.06. Fire inspection fees, $240. Total mileage, 928 miles. Total gas, 67 gallons. Total monthly receipts of $9,172.06. Thomas Corcoran.
Thank you, Scott. Councilman Corcoran. Okay. Chief?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey.
Activity summary for the month of April 2018. Personal injury auto accidents 0. Fatals 0. Property damage auto accidents 15. Accidents not requiring report 0 for a total of 15 for the month. Summons is issued, vehicle and traffic 125. No parking violations written. Total blotter entries 297. Total arrests 37. Telephone calls handled 1,697 calls. Full-time officer, part-time officer, overtime, grant overtime is attached. Full-time dispatcher, 0 hours, overtime. Part-time dispatcher, 24 hours of overtime. Police mileage, 12,183 miles, with a consumption of 1,010.832 gallons. I need to read for one of our grants. I have to read a little something that's going to be coming up. 2018 Click It or Ticket campaign. Town of Marlborough Police Department will be joining numerous other law enforcement agencies across the state in renewing a pledge to save lives by intensifying efforts to enforce vehicle restraint laws during 2018 Click It or Ticket mobilization. This campaign will begin May 21st, 2018 and will run through June 3rd, 2018. The Town of Marlborough Police Department will have extra officers on duty conducting enforcement during the upcoming Click It or Ticket campaign. Our officers will continue to actively enforce vehicle safety regulations throughout the year. Please drive carefully and be sure that all of your vehicle occupants utilize proper restraints. And then our department offers free certified child seat installation and safety inspections for town residents. Just please call us at the station, 795-2181. Got all that, Mark? Good. Shoot. It's all part of the campaign. The main focus is seatbelt child restraint, but every other violation that we observe will also be written. Cell phones, inspections, registrations, driver's licenses, you name it.
Way in, you had like a 4-car accident right in front of the middle school.
Correct. That's
How do you
messed up
35 miles
everything.
an hour?
People don't pay attention.
That's gotta be
Hard enough to spew fluids everywhere.
Jerry, what is the law regarding child restraints? How old, or is it age or size, or how does it?
Well, car seats go by weight, no longer by age.
Okay.
So you could have technically a 15-year-old that weighs 70 pounds or 60 pounds would need to be in a car seat or a booster seat. But mostly it goes by weight. Anybody under the age of 16 in the back seat has to have a seatbelt on, and anybody in the front seats, regardless of the age.
And
And children can't be in the front seat. They have to be in the
car
back
seat versus booster seat, what's the?
It's a weight thing. I'm not 100% sure what the weight
Okay.
cutoff is, but it's a weight thing. It depends on where the seatbelt rides on the child.
Yeah, I would suggest if anybody had any questions to make an appointment with one of the sergeants, and they
Yep,
could
I've-
teach you how to put it in
Yep.
properly. And
Sergeant Griggs is certified, so is Officer Fulton. So what we normally do is when people call, we make arrangements with either one of those two officers. They either can go to the house or they can bring the vehicle here, and they'll do the safety inspection and installation of the car seat if it needs to be done.
Yep.
Any questions? Any more questions? Chief?
Anything from the dog enforcement?
I could give it to you.
Oh, you do?
You don't want to do it, huh?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Jerry can do it.
Could you do a dog report also? I appreciate it. Thanks, Ed.
Okay. Town of Marlborough Dog Control, monthly report. We received a total of 14 calls this morning, including this month, including 9 calls of service from the Marlborough PD, State Police, and Ulster County Sheriff. Responded to 4 active complaints and/or cases which are now closed or resolved. We currently have 2 open cases that have been addressed but are ongoing and unresolved. We impounded 1 stray dog. 0 appearance tickets were issued for this month. We currently have no dogs in the kennel. We had 4 dog bite reports this month by the same dog. This case was presented to the Town of Marlborough Justice Court as a dangerous dog petition. The charges have been dismissed as the dog was voluntarily euthanized by the owner. In related news, I have purchased a home in the village of Marlborough and should be settling in by the end of the month. Respectively, Andrew McKee.
Good.
Thanks, Chief.
Congratulations.
Can I have that back?
Just another note, I don't know how you guys are aware, we had a woman who resides on the top of Mount Zion who had an enormous amount of cats in real poor condition. The SPCA is involved. The SPCA cannot, they can file charges and get warrants, but they cannot actually process arrests, so we were involved with that. That lady was charged with 69 counts of endangering, there's endangering of certain wildlife or domesticated animal. She was arraigned, and she has a court date coming back. But she's a known problem in the town, and it continues.
Were the animals removed or anything?
The animals were removed by the SPCA. She's petitioning the court to get them back, but for the stories I hear, their house is loaded again. They took 69 cats out of
69 cats.
a
Probably
2-bedroom
got
house.
60 more, but
She's got more cats.
Oh, so I hear, yeah. And I have regular conversations with her, so out of her own mouth I'm hearing she has more cats, so. I don't know. Just know
Thanks,
it's
Chief.
going on in court, so that's where we are.
Appreciate it.
Feed 69 cats.
You know what's going to happen, Mark, is that because you're not going up to the microphone, our ratings are down now, but they can't hear what you're saying, and then they just hear what he's replying to. So if you could go up or use Colleen's microphone, just so we could, who knows, maybe our ratings will go back up.
I just had a question of Jerry in terms of any more complaints. Have you had any more complaints up at the Peter Flores house in terms of noise and/or vehicles and excessive vehicles and things like that
No complaints that I'm aware of.
in recent weeks?
None that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
There's been conversations and stuff with people, but no actual complaints. All right. Anything else?
Thanks, Chief. Mr. Appler. What do you want to do? You gonna make it? We could bring the microphone to you.
Decent outside lit up when you said that.
All right, monthly report for April 2018. Roads, we spent many days repairing lawn edges that we had damaged during snow plowing operations. We chipped tree limbs for the first week of the month, finishing up and clearing the damage left by the 3 northeastern storms in March. And that was actually over almost a 4-week period that we did all of that. And we did cold patch patrols as needed. We swept many streets during the month. We did catch basin and pipe end patrols as needed. We did tree trimming on Highland Avenue and Bingham Road in preparation for milling and repaving. We started milling 1.5 inches off of Bingham Road and Highland Avenue on 4/18 and finished on 4/23. All of our workforce was committed to traffic control during this time. After milling these roads, we spent 3 days sweeping up the loose gravel so that they could be repaved. Rainy days delayed the project for 3 days. Training, we had 2 men attend the Cornell Local Roads class on April 12th. And congratulations to Harry Freeborn, who achieved the Roadmaster Level 2 program after completing all the requirements. Drainage, we had to replace 100 foot of rotted metal pipe on Bingham Road with a double wall PVC pipe. Fuel usage, gas 406.8 gallons, diesel 1,477.8.
I noticed he had some millings up at the transfer station. So
Yeah.
when you have chance, you're gonna put those down there?
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabouts?
Huh?
On the whole road or just in
No,
that
just
one?
on the potholes that were there. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Highland Avenue looks great, by the way.
Yeah, it came out nice. Yeah.
The millings down at the landing look good too.
Yeah.
In front of the sewer plant.
Yeah.
In front of the train station, it came out nice.
Yeah.
They did that, yeah, Friday, I think. Thursday or Friday, when I was there.
Yeah. Kind of a rainy day, so we put down the milling.
So, I know you have a long list from us, but, so those millings, could they be used, I think I talked to you about, use them down at the park? That road down the park, would that be feasible?
here?
Yeah, at the Clue Chance
Oh, it'd be
Memorial.
feasible, yeah, we have to put them down, you have to roll them. Basically, should wait for a hot day. That way the oils that are already on the stone, when you roll it, they kind of mesh together. Otherwise, it's just like regular gravel, you kick it off and everything.
And I'm sure it's in the queue is the municipal parking by Captain Supply.
Yeah, we gotta start on all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. I'm just
We gotta
bringing
get
these
we
in.
gotta get a run of good weather, you know.
Yeah, I
When
understand.
it rains 2 out of 5 days, you don't get a whole lot done.
I
And
understand.
that's tomorrow, that's Thursday, going into Friday, and
Well,
you get
the
frustrated.
last thing I have to say is that, thank you so much for doing what you do. That you can just let us know like 2 weeks in advance when you think you're going to be started on the sidewalk project.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna start till
Yeah,
you
so
guys
we
tell
could-
me it's ready to go.
So we could get coordinated with
Sure,
Local
yeah.
17.
That's
Scott.
what I called them already. That's why, according to what we talked to, you said 4 weeks in June, right?
I said when they move the poles, then we can think about it.
Well, we could start
I need
on
4
the...
weeks with them,
Yeah.
but when they
Well,
move the poles,
but
they have the
that's-
poles set,
Yeah,
then we can look ahead a little bit and,
that's not the only sidewalk, but there's
Yeah.
3 or 4 other
Well, I
sidewalks.
called Mr. Diorio. I told him June 4th to the 29th, which is 4 weeks, Monday.
depends on Central Hudson, doesn't depend on me.
So, I mean, he's got, like I said, he does have guys that are really busy right now, but I told him I wanted Mark and Mike, and then 2 other guys that
Yeah.
you said you needed. But
It's all up
if
to
something
Central Hudson.
something delays, we have to let them know. Because they gotta pull guys off jobs, so that's the
Yeah.
thing. You can't-
Oh, yeah,
We'll keep in close correspondence
yeah.
with you.
As long as Central Hudson moves the poles. They don't boom till August, we can't do it till August.
Right.
Yeah, we can't
Not
do
my
that Grant
fault.
Street, that's all new,
Well,
but
can we do
we
other
we
stuff
could do,
other than that?
we could do the
Huh?
other streets,
Can we do the other roads?
the sidewalks.
The other
The other
sidewalks?
sidewalks, other than that?
If you want to bring the guys in for 2 weeks or a week, or, that's up to you.
I understand, he doesn't, remember when we talked, he
wants to get
doesn't
it all
want to
done in
break
one
it up,
shot.
he wants to be continuous.
No, I mean, if we start the other lots as they're moving the poles, I mean, the other sidewalks as they're moving
Just
them.
gotta
Yeah.
make sure they're gonna
Work
move
our way
the poles.
back.
Yeah, I think I have to
We
get
don't have
all
a date,
Central
we have a
Hudson
date.
and find out. what
Yeah.
this-
All right, just let me know, because again, I gotta.
I will.
know exactly.
They've marked the
The
poles,
issue,
they've
the-
staked them,
the-
so.
The issue's not gonna be Central Hudson with the poles, it's gonna be Verizon and Spectrum.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's what got us down here at the firehouse.
Oh,
Central Hudson was
absolutely.
on time, Verizon and Spectrum showed up late, we got a hole in the park.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Hey,
And they're
Gail.
supposed to coordinate that. I asked them if I should get involved. He said, no, they'll coordinate that with Central Hudson,
It's gonna
Verizon,
be the,
Spectra,
Yeah.
all them.
All right.
Gail, Gail,
Gail,
Yeah, you
Gail.
can't get away yet.
can't get away. Totally unrelated topic, and you already explained this to me, but I've had a lot of people ask me about it. The section of Latin Road, actually right in front of my house, that it appears they did it twice, but I know they didn't. So
Yeah.
could you explain that? Could you explain what they did?
You got my email on
I
that,
did.
right? Okay.
So just for the public,
Yeah.
because I've gotten a
So
lot.
basically, what they did with that section of Latin Town Road last year is they reclaimed it and, broke up made a new subsurface. Then they put a binder coat on it. Now, the binder coat is bigger stone and that, so it's fairly porous. You have to do a top coat. So they did the binder coat for 1 year, 2 inches of binder. And this year they came in and put 1.5 inches of top coat that you can roll and seal, and the rain doesn't get in there and freeze and pop it all open.
Okay.
So it's
And I know
a
it's
2-year
It's
project.
beautiful. I didn't know they did that every year, but, I mean, everybody thought last year that we were done, so.
No,
but
yeah,
It's great.
no. So this year you're done, yeah.
Now, Jerry, you have to post your policemen out there because, it's a racetrack now.
Now it's a real racetrack.
Hey, Bingham Road and Highland Avenue could use
Same
that
too.
speed limit sign too.
Same thing.
They get rolling down through there.
town by me.
That's the negative part of fixing all our streets, Gail.
Oh, yeah, I know, you're right, yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail.
All right, anything else? No? All right, thank you.
Yep.
I took the one out on Old Inn,
Mr. Maggio.
one time ago. Tree in the middle.
Good evening. Monthly report for April. Water consumption totaled 14.1 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 470,000 gallons a day. Compared to last month, we had 13.3 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 429,000 per day. Compared to a year ago, our water consumption was 12.7 million, which is a daily usage of 423,000 a day. Summary for the month, water mains, we had to repair a galvanized water line on Orange Street. Valve boxes, we had to repair and remove water and sewer risers on Bingham Road, Highland Avenue, for reclaiming and paving. Curb boxes, we had to repair and replace curb boxes and stems on South Road and Plattekill Road. At the town park, we got it prepared for the opening of the season, and then we installed sewer pumps. Sewer line inspections, we had 1 closings, 3 75 markouts, gallons of gas 225, and the mileage for the month 1710. I also like to remind people that we are flushing hydrants, so you might encounter some dirty water or low pressures in areas. So it'll be going on for the next 2 weeks.
Thank you, Charles.
Any questions for Charlie? Thank you. Thanks, Charles. Colleen?
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Town Clerk Monthly Report for April 2018. Burn permits, 1 for $30. Conservation, 13 for $23.75. Dog licenses, 38 for a total of $220. Transfer station permits, 5 for $240. Punch cards, 34 for $1,835. Marriage licenses, 2 for $35. Building department fees, 1 for $10,913.20. Fire fees, 1 for $320. Lifeguard, 1 for $250. Zumba 1 for $150, accident reports 10 for $50, burglar alarm permits 2 for $40, certified copies 6 for $340, foils 2 for $1.25, junkyard licenses 4 for $1,000, minor sales 1 for $3,500, park fees 3 for $650, and jujitsu 1 for $90, for a grand total of $19,713.20.
Colleen, off the top of your head, do you know who the 4 junk licenses?
There's Young's is a junkyard license. There's, God, I can't think of their name. What's the guy that's up across? The guy that's across from not Mary Jane's. Mario, his first name's Mario, I can't think of his last name. Tronsolito. Who else do we have? Oh my gosh, drawing blanks. I know all of them. Jeffrey Freehand is another one. Jeffrey Freehand, Tronsolito, Young's, Copart, obviously, is another one. Yeah, there's more, though. Donald Brown, yes, Donald Brown's the other one. Yeah, and that's them. Yeah.
So are they due at different times when they were first?
March, they're due, and then they pay for their, April 1st is when they have to come in and get them, but we call everybody up towards the end of March and tell them they're ready to be picked up.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Okay. A wastewater treatment facility, so I have that. May 14, 2018, report on the Marlborough wastewater treatment plant for April 2018. The average flow meter reading to the plant was 155,000 gallons per day. The design capacity is 175,000 gallons per day. We used 88% of capacity. The process is meeting all other speedies requirements. Lab results show that we removed 99% of BOD, 99% suspended solids during the month. On the Milton wastewater treatment plant, the average flow to the Milton plant during April 2018 was 34,000 gallons per day. This is about 62% of design capacity, which is 55,000 gallons per day. We showed 99% of BOD and 92% of TSS removal. The process is working well, meeting speedies requirements. Overall, both wastewater treatment plants are in good working order, but getting older. Keeps on putting that there, I guess. They are getting older. The collection system is being monitored and maintained by Charlie Maggio in the Water Department. And if you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to call Mr. Falco. Thank you, Tony. You got the assessment?
Yes. To Town Board from Cindy Hilbert, May 14, 2018, May report. Our office processed 19 real property sales transfers. We worked on 15 property tax estimates. We filed our tentative assessment roll on May 1st, 2018. Grievance day will be held on Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. The Board of Assessment Review will be holding hearings by appointment only from 9 to 12, 1 to 4, and 6 to 8. Please have anyone interested in grieving their assessment call to set up an appointment and where to obtain the grievance application. That's it.
Thank you. Oh, that's yours, I'm sorry. Okay. Planning, Howard, please.
This is for the month of April 2018. First meeting was April 2nd, 2018, 7:30 p.m. at the Town Hall. Attendees, Mr. Brand, Cauchi, Lanzetta, LaFera, Trapani, and Troncali. Agenda. First on the agenda was approval of stenographic minutes for 3/5/2018. Those were approved unanimously. Second item was Hudson Valley Treehouse, 80 Gulliver's Knob, Marlborough, public hearing site plan. The public hearing was reopened with input from many residents in attendance. The applicant provided the board and the members of the public with a video presentation attempting to address many of the concerns previously raised on the project. The public hearing was closed, and the applicants were told a final decision would be made at the next regularly scheduled meeting. Next item on the agenda, Twin Pond Enterprises, 2007 Route 9W Milton preliminary site plan. The applicant reappeared to discuss his plans for the pallet business at the above site. Several ongoing technical concerns, landscaping, fencing, and sidewalks were discussed. The project requires New York State DOT approval for drainage connection and highway access modifications. Outstanding comments from jurisdictional fire departments and agreements from Central Hudson for use of adjoining lands have not been received. The applicant will reappear at a later date. Next item on the agenda, Robert Young Estate, 1971 Route 9W Milton discussion, lot line. The board agreed to amend their previous approval to allow for a modified timeline for the applicant to remove overseas containers on the site. The amendment was unanimously approved. Next item, Michael Turturro, Highland Avenue, Marlborough, discussion without attorney, engineer, and/or stenographer. Mr. Turturro and his partners appeared to discuss the unfinished 36-unit project located on Highland Avenue. 12 units built, 24 units to be constructed. Due to the time lapse since the project originally began, the applicant was advised to initiate a new application and bring the project before the planning board. Next deadline, Friday, April 6th. Next scheduled meeting, Monday, April 16th. Now I'm going to read the minutes from the April 16th meeting, 2018, held here at the Town Hall. In attendance were Brand, Cauchy, Clark, LaFaro, Trapani, and Trocali. On the agenda, first was the approval of stenographic minutes for 2018 and training hours. Approval for the above minutes was granted unanimously. Board member Joel Troncalli submitted completion of 2 hours of professional development. Board members Steve Clark and Manny Cauchy also attended. First item on the agenda, Young's 9W Plymouth, 1971 Route 9W Milton public hearing site plan. The public hearing was opened and closed with input from those in attendance. Seeker circulation for the project will be submitted. Outstanding comments from the New York State DOT and the New York State Department of Public Works regarding proposed sidewalks, pedestrian thoroughfares, as well as access improvements are necessary. Town engineer Pat Hines clarified required additions to the project plans. The applicant will return at a later date for continuation. Next item was Hudson Valley Treehouse, 80 Gobbler's Knob, Marlborough, final site plan. The applicant's proposal received approval of negative declaration and an EAF by a vote of 4-1. Board member Manny Cauchy recused himself from the vote. The board then approved a resolution of disapproval with 5 members voting to disapprove the proposed bed and breakfast. Board member Cauchy again recused himself from the vote. Next item on the agenda, Fuso Nodal Logging, Mount Zion Reservoir Road, Marlborough sketch site plan. The applicant's representative presented plans to harvest approximately 580 trees on 58 acres on the combined parcels, 10 trees per acre. Portions of the project are located in the town of Plattekill and is subject to review by their planning board. No access to public or private roadways in the town of Marlborough is being proposed. As required by town code, a public hearing for the timber harvest was scheduled for May 7th, 2018. Next item on the agenda, Ridge Road subdivision, Ridge Road, Marlborough sketch subdivision. The applicant's representative presented plans for a re-subdivision of 2 lots previously consolidated, last appeared in 2010. After discussing several technical issues, the board agreed by a 4-1 vote to require the applicant to present a full build-out plan for the entire parcel. Ulster County Health Department approval of septic systems, a stormwater pollution prevention plan, highway superintendent comments for the driveway locations, and details for connections to the town's water system are all required. The applicant and/or representatives will appear at a later date. Next deadline is Friday, April 20th. Next scheduled meeting, Monday, May 7th. Respectfully submitted, Chris Brand, Chairman, Town of Marlborough Planning Board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
Once again, Al, thanks for getting all these in.
Oh, you're welcome. We're batting 100.
Even 1,000.
Almost as good as the Yankees.
No, let's not go there.
All right, report of committees. Recreation Committee.
Well, you got, since Vinny didn't come yet, I mean, we could tell you when the dates are.
Sure.
So the concert series is kicking off on July 6th There's 4 concerts scheduled this year. They're at the park again, 7:30, doors open. Well, doors open at 7, he says. Concert starts at 7:30. July 6th, Alpha Male Gorillas. All right. July 13th is Classic Alt Rock Night. July 20th is Hillbilly Parade Jason Castellan Country Night. Space Rock Night is on July 27th, Cousins Earth. So 4 concerts in the park starting on July 6th on Fridays, free.
So it's all in July.
All in July.
Good.
Yep.
All in July.
Hopefully they get good weather this year. I know they got
Yeah,
stormed
those
out
are
last year.
dependent on the weather. If it's a nice day, it's successful, there's a bunch of people there. And as the board approved, we have a fence up there. I have to talk to Mr. Zambito to put some rocks up there. Meet with you later, Dave. Because they actually drive around the gate.
Yep.
Unbelievable. So that's to protect the children that go there. A lot of kids go to these concerts with their parents, so they have a great time. So it's a great thing for the taxpayers of Marlborough. Emergency.
Also on recreation,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
tonight's opening night for bocce. We're up to 18 teams now.
That's awesome.
So we're trying to get to 20, then we'll have every night filled. So we got 18, so we're playing Monday through Friday. There's 2 matches, 4 days a week, and 1 match 5 on the 5th day. So we had 2 more teams this year, which is great. And they're all local people. It's a great time up there. You've been up there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I want to thank Dave for the wall he put up. It looks great.
That looks sharp.
Thank you.
Good job,
Thank you,
Dave. As usual.
Is that the most ever, Ed? Teams?
Yeah, I started off with 4 teams about 7 years ago, and every year we've increased. Last year we had 16, and now we're up to 18.
Cool.
Does the pavilion help it?
Well, the pavilion helps it for me
No
because I don't have
rainouts?
to reschedule any games now. It's rain or shine.
Yeah.
The lights are there, and if it gets dark
roof's
early.
over the,
Yeah.
bocce
And when it
ball.
gets crazy, it used to be when we had all those rainouts, sometimes it would happen, one team had 4 rainouts, and they're playing the last week, they got to play like 5 matches in, 5 days, so it wasn't fair. But now with the way it is now, everybody plays once a week, and we know it's gonna, it's rain or shine, so.
What kind of comments do you get about it?
Oh, everybody loves the place.
They do.
They're very impressive. And I always tell them the town board, all you guys did for us, which we definitely appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, I think, on the rosters now, we have almost 180 people. Wow. Between all the rosters and everything, so a lot of
So
people get.
there's an entrance fee?
Yes.
Oh.
And we keep that for, like, we're gonna put the gutter up on the side this year.
Okay.
So we got prices, we're gonna get the gutter put up and they'll get done. We'll do that. They're gonna donate the time, we're just gonna pay for the gutters.
Okay.
Out of the league fund. We're gonna have to set 2 people have to sign, just like anything else. Like
Okay.
here, so it's, it's
Okay.
like that. But, yeah, we had about $600 left over last year. We put another $900 into the kitty this year, so our treasury's like $1,500 right now.
Very good.
Okay.
So we're pretty much the bocce center of New York State.
Probably, I mean, I'm probably gonna call down to the one down in New York City and see if we can enter a couple teams down there to the Zambuca tournament down there.
You guys ought to do a tournament.
Yeah.
We do that.
You don't want to play anybody from down to Brooklyn or Manhattan, believe me, you don't.
We do have a tournament.
A lot of fun is being had.
The other thing is there, I've been talking to the doghouse place there, and I said to her, if you put the grill up there, there's 16, 18 people up there almost every night. You probably do pretty well up there, because those people come right from work, or they come right from anything, in soda and
I
hot
mentioned
dogs.
that to her, too.
Yeah, I went right down to the place, and I told her, I gave her the schedule and everything like that, so. But we start here, and we enter the end of August, and the playoffs are in September.
Yep. Very good. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it. Just a reminder, too, talking about the concert, this year, it's the American Legion's turn to do the cooking. Last year, Doghouse did it.
Yeah.
So we're switching on and off.
You better make sure you tell Vinny.
Make sure everybody
'Cause
knows.
he's got in his flyer, Doghouse,
Well,
and vendors welcome at $20 or something like that. I don't know.
I'll correct that.
Talk to Vinny,
I will.
because yes, you're right. But it is in there.
I didn't see it. That's why I hope we would come
She
tonight.
knows it's every other year, she did say that.
Yeah, okay. So the CAC, we meet this Wednesday. We've been progressing pretty rapidly since Matt got on board. We're taking pictures of other towns, things that look good to us. Of course, it's just a like a design concept. Show somebody, this is what we like. They don't have to accept it, but show them what we would like to see along the 9W corridor. And this is some guidelines for also for the planning board, so this way they could show people what pictorially, so and they could see what we like as far as stone wall fences and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll wrap that up pretty soon. IT committee, Scott, you want to talk about that a little bit?
So we're supposed to have a meeting on Wednesday at 2, right?
Yep.
And we're working now, even pulling the school district in this, right? Try to share the service.
Right.
We were looking at doing a projector here for meetings, so we don't have to have all this paperwork. It looks like from a cost-wise, it's easier to have possibly two screen TVs on either end of the meeting room, then actually do that. Because of the lighting in here and distance, we have to send it. So we're supposed to have a meeting tomorrow, Wednesday at 2 o'clock and go over it and see if the school district wants to get in on it. And we have a budget for this, but we're moving forward on that. So hopefully in the next couple months, we'll get this going.
Thank you, Scott. I can tell you on the Milton Train Station Foundation that the inside is painted now completely and finished. The outside, hopefully in a couple of weeks, the railings will be up and the painting will be completed. And then also we did a work change so we could get the floors done inside. So they're going to surface the floors. Of course, I guess whatever they do, they go over with a polish or get the old stuff off and then put the new stuff on. So at the end of that, it just looks fantastic. And like we said, thank you, Gail, for going down there and doing some work down there at the parking area for the train station. Appreciate it, Gail. Okay. Milton Landing Citizens Committee?
Yeah, everything's looking good down here. It's obviously been busy with the fishermen. They've been good, actually, as far as with garbage, so I've been keeping an eye on that. Also, we're having the kayak launch is going to be June 9th. It's going to be in an afternoon. We're looking at the tide charts now and a destination, because the tides will dictate our destination and our return time. So.
Is that, you have to, is any application fee or just meet down there and
It's
just?
just a meet and greet.
Okay.
Just get to know the park type thing. So I think last year we had over 20 people. It was a big success.
It gets bigger and bigger.
Every year it does, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and when are you going to have the, I guess you call it cornhole? or
that's
whatever?
the fire department's having the cornhole tournament this weekend, Saturday.
This
So,
week, Saturday down there?
Yeah,
And that's $50?
$50, yeah. And
Is it on the website or your website, Milton?
it's on our Facebook page. You go to our Facebook page, you can find it. But we've got there's a lot of teams coming this year. So it was like 40 teams already, but we still got room. So come on down. And we'll have hamburgers, hot dogs, and
What time does it start?
right now I think it's at noon. It's not my event, so I'm not sure. But I think it's 12 o'clock. It starts at 12. But check out the Facebook page.
Is it the train station now? Or down?
It's going to be, no, we did it last year right at the landing. So,
landing.
yeah, a lot of people, it was the first time people got down there, and word of mouth, we got a lot of people coming now. So.
How's the striper fishing?
Excellent right now. Well, for everybody but me, but based on work, weather, and
Still a lot of
family
people.
work and weather.
How many people are down there?
During the day, I'll usually pop down for morning coffee and sometimes for lunch, but I mean, I'll see in the morning, over by the train station, excluding the workers, there'll be a dozen cars over there.
Absolutely.
There'll be another 6 cars, people fishing to the north. And again, there's people from Montauk down there. There's people from Long Island coming up here.
Sure.
So doing it. So it's good to see. It's not good to see them in your spot, but it's good to see.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts on the weekend. I mean, I talk to people who come down here. They're from Pennsylvania, Middletown, Connecticut, Long Island, that type stuff. So it's a known destination now.
How do those people find out about it? Like Facebook?
Social media, because somebody catches a giant fish and puts Milton, New York on it. Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
just
Wow.
for that.
Right, Gail?
Get up at 3:30 to get.
He's out in the river, though. He's in the middle of the river. But yeah, no, so I mean, it's good to see, and what's really good to see is, I don't know so much, I don't go down to the CSX property, but on our property, everybody has really policed themselves. You know, we don't have garbage cans down there for a reason, because we don't want to empty them, but everyone's taking out what they carry in, so maybe that little sign we made worked. But we really haven't had a problem. Striper fishermen are notorious for being kind of sloppy. So we're in good
Talking
shape.
about that, what about the dog park? Because I know we had the conversation about that. Have we had a resolve to how that gets cleaned?
I haven't been there in a while.
I haven't been there in a couple weeks.
Actually, the dog park's supposed to be, the rules on there is you carry it out.
Yeah, everything is carry out, but somebody put a garbage can
Somebody
there.
put a garbage can
That's gotta
there,
go.
and it went. I told Tom
It's
to get
gone.
rid of it.
Good,
Yeah,
all right.
to get rid of it.
The dog,
Huh?
what about the dog?
They put it in the car and,
But I mean, do we have something there and it's,
yeah, they
Yes.
have the stuff
They
to
have the
pick it
bags
up.
there.
The
The
bags.
I mean, we took all the cans away, is what I'm saying? I guess
Yeah.
there was a.
Yeah, the rules say you gotta
You take it with
carry
you.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need a 50
I
gallon,
know what they say.
the dog food.
Just hope-
Well, I think we came we had a problem with this, and the Eagle Scouts said, we'll just close it up if people don't want to abide by the rules. They got to abide by the
Yeah,
rules.
rules are rules, so.
We'll see what happens.
All
We'll
right,
follow
good.
through
Yeah,
on
yeah.
it. I know what you're saying.
I know. I didn't want to.
We take ours home.
I know.
Okay.
It's good for the garden.
No, it isn't.
It's fertilizer.
So, Marlborough Hamlet Economic Development Committee, you want to,
Yeah,
both of you
just-
guys went to that meet and greet?
Yes, we had the meet and greet in concert with the Hamlet of Milton Association and Meet Me in Marlborough. So the three groups sponsored that meet and greet at the Falcon last week. When was it, Tuesday night? Tuesday. And it was, modestly successful, I would say. Maybe 20 businesses were there, roughly. Wasn't a huge turnout, but it was an okay turnout. I think it was a good start. It was an attempt to get business people in the town familiar with what these committees are doing, and I think we'll probably do it again sometime. So, Scott, you were there. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it was a good overview of what has been going on for the last couple of years. And there was a nice PowerPoint presentation that John DeMarco presented. I think we were joking that we felt like we were back at IBM in one of our conferences. But it was a good overview, and I think everybody that had projects were there, and they showed what we've been doing, including Howard. And I think it was a good meet and greet, so it can't hurt, let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, Meet Me in Marlborough, they were involved, right?
Yeah,
They were
Sheila
there?
was there. Sheila had a booth, and basically, and what they're working on now is a directory of all the businesses in town, and trying to get that together. So she wanted to make sure people were aware of that, and if they weren't, that they should get their name on that. So, yes, Sheila was there.
And one question
good.
that came up, Al, was when are we gonna get the entrance sign to the town of Marlborough?
The gateway.
The gateway sign.
Is that on me?
Yeah,
No, I'm just
no,
asking the question, when do we wanna do it? Can we do it?
no. We have a lot of discussions we have
We
to.
have, so there's a little crinkle in that, and until it's resolved, I'd rather not talk about it right now.
All right.
It has to do with lease agreements.
Yeah, 'cause that came up, that was a big thing, was like, when are we gonna do this?
Yeah,
Da-da-da.
yeah. Everybody wants it done, but.
So,
The other thing I should just update you on is, and Al mentioned this before, the trail subcommittee that's part of this Economic Development Committee in the Marlborough Hamlet. We had a meeting with a guy named Carl Beard this morning at 9 o'clock, and Carl is the trail guru for the state of New York, I guess, is the best way to describe him. I don't know his official title. I don't really know who he works for. But everybody says you have to talk to this guy. So we finally met with him today. And he met with us at 9 o'clock, and he didn't leave until quarter to 2 in the afternoon. And I didn't stay for the whole meeting, but
He did that.
and Al was there but didn't stay. But Matt Kierstad and Tony Falco stayed with him the whole time. And Matt Kierstad just emailed me. He said he was very impressed with the trail, the route, the variety of historic and natural resources, and our progress with the vision outreach and especially the Tilcon parcel surprise. He thinks we're going to have an eye-opening report, meaning the report we're preparing for Greenway with the $5,000 grant we got. He said essentially, where have we been hiding this great opportunity all this time? So he was quite impressed with the vision, at least. And obviously, there's a lot of work to be done, but it was nice to have his feedback to tell us that you have a fantastic asset here that you should continue to work on. And he would help us.
It's all positive.
Yeah, very positive, so.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So Meet Me in Marlborough was at the meet and greet, and Hammond of Milton Association Committee.
Yeah, the planting is this Sunday, early, I think it's 9 a.m. So everyone's gonna meet up, they're gonna get the potters, planted and distributed, and hence start the watering process, so.
You
wanna
had
come
your
down and
spring
help, come
fling
on
too, right?
down, and if not, just come on down when they're done. It should be done Sunday afternoon. Usually we're done in like an hour. We get enough help.
Yeah, a lot of hands.
Yeah, there's a lot of hands on deck, and then we just hang up all the, the hangers and distribute all the planters. So it comes out good. It'll look good again, as always. So
Sounds good. Thank you. Howard, transfer station?
Transfer station, we will have this famous meeting we've been talking about tomorrow night, so I know Ralph was gonna be there, James, you'll be there, Larry, it's upstairs in your office, Al. Al, Alan, are you gonna be there?
I'm 50-50 at this point.
Okay,
So if Al doesn't make it,
We're doing it at 7?
I got a train station meeting.
yeah, I know, it's a busy
Maybe
time.
Scott can make it.
We'll have a good core of people there, and
I can make it if nobody's there.
you can, it's open to anybody, really, so. 7 o'clock tomorrow night, up in that, and
All right,
up
Eddie's
in the
gonna sit in
supervisor's
for me.
office. So what we're gonna start talking about again, and we talked about this probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago, is the garbage districts. I don't know how better to say that, but the garbage districts will be primary topic of discussion, and I think you guys are pretty much, very much in favor of seriously looking at that. So that's what
Yep.
we're gonna start that discussion again, okay?
I just heard New Paltz went to one carrier, because they have garbage pickup, but they had multiple carriers. Now it's just one carrier.
I got the Dennis Street line, we get four garbage trucks every Wednesday morning, backing in and out.
It's ridiculous.
Me too.
Al, do you know any information on that? Like, how did they do that, or?
They
did
probably
they get
put
a-
I could find out. I know.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, the form of the districts is gonna be our biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have a lot of public, we're gonna have to have public
legality.
input, because we're creating a tax, so.
It's not
Maybe
gonna
I'll
be
do it.
easy.
There's a lot of work to be done.
But by going to one carrier, does the town get a revenue source from that? Separate, like we do like our Time Warner
I don't know.
Spectrum
We'd have to
contract?
talk to the,
I don't think so. Ralph is sort of the expert. But we don't want to get into the
What it
details.
does, it allows it
We
to
wanted
go
to-
on their tax bill.
But we do have to put out the bid, right, Ralph?
and
yeah,
they
we'd
could,
have to bid it.
Right.
We'd have to bid it. We thought, I think initially the committee thought that if we broke it up into, let's say, and this isn't even the final idea, if we just broke it up and we did it into the voting districts, it would just allow more companies to compete. That's all.
Right.
We'd have some smaller companies involved as opposed to these large,
Well, when you go up for an RFP, you can't, it's gonna be everybody, and that's
Well, there's gonna be
always
people that,
my fear, right? Because then you have the big guys come in.
well, and then you're gonna squeeze out the little guys who
Maybe.
have businesses in our town. So we were just looking at it that way, like, maybe we
If you
break
have
it
6
up.
districts, I think you bid on 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
No, maybe not win them all, that's all.
Larry, did you want to say anything? I know I haven't seen the tires that we worked on, but it made a dent in the tires, right? A little bit. So for $2,000, we hauled away some tires. Yeah, and how many tires went? 850 tires.
There's a,
So how many tires do we think they're
So-
there?
So this is what I'm saying, Howard.
Yeah.
You're talking to him.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nobody knows.
Do you
who
want
you're
do you
talking
want to give a little
Nobody watches.
do you want to give a little report, Larry? Thank you.
Come on up, Larry. 650 tire, that's pretty good. I know it's probably thousands.
My name's Larry Furman. I'm taking care of the recycling center up there in the town of Marlborough. And we got Empire to come in and take tires out. And the deal we made with them, we get $3 a car tire for each tire they take out. The only thing is, they don't want any rims in the tires. So we got a problem with the tires that's up there. I'd say half them tires in that pile have rims in them. So this is something we're gonna have to look at to see how we can get the rims out of the tires.
Okay.
And I got
Larry, do
the,
they care what shape the tire's in?
no,
Like,
it
you
doesn't
just
matter.
went there with like a sawzall and just started cutting them off the rims?
Well, I bought my saws all down, I tried it. The only problem is, the bead on the rim, the tire's been there so long, the bead is rusted right to the rim.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to cut through the rim to get the tire off.
Where is the place you're taking it to, Larry?
Empire out of Connecticut.
Okay, because we take ours to a place over in Poughkeepsie, and they don't charge us anything, they just take the tires. We have to bring them to them, but they don't charge. I'll get you the name of it.
Okay, yeah.
We
we're
just
looking-
found them.
Okay,
We
good,
just started,
good.
because we do a lot of tires at Young, so, you know.
Okay, what tires will they take?
They're
Car tires
basically-
and truck tires or
Truck-
what?
I'll find out for you. I'll get
Okay,
the
all right,
information.
yeah, get us a number.
I'll try to get it
sometime.
tomorrow, I'll bring it tomorrow night.
Okay. All right, very
Other
thanks.
than that, everything's going well up there, Larry?
Yes, I got Elsa County sending down the recyclable list, because we've had a problem with recyclables going in the container, they got garbage in it. And I got the statement for February, and we had a penalty incurred in February because there was garbage in with the recyclables. They charge $1 a pound. I called Kingston, what was this all about? You can't have garbage in with the recyclables. Well, we wasn't aware of it, and I just finally got some invoices from Ulster County for January and February. I haven't got March or April yet.
Okay.
So those signs are not working, those big signs?
Well, what we gotta do, Al, we gotta get a sign there. When the people come in, you have to see the attendant first.
Yep.
Okay? And this way we can correct it, because we're running back and forth, okay? And people come in, they just indiscriminately dump paper and the rest of it, paper, newspapers, go in the newspaper box. Your cereal boxes and that go in with the paper. They don't go in with cardboard, okay? And that's one of the problems. We've been addressing that, and we've been taking the time with the people coming. But we gotta get the people to stop and get the attendant so we can see what's in the garbage. Otherwise, they throw the styrofoam and the rest of it. That's garbage, it's not recyclable.
So we need another sign up there, Howard?
Please see attendant before dumping garbage.
Sounds
Right,
like it.
Yeah.
see the attendant before dumping garbage.
Okay.
All right, and this way we can get a good handle onto it, so we can get the recycling down to where it should be.
Okay.
Okay.
All right?
All right, Larry.
You can send that request,
All right,
who
thank
does
you.
our signs, Mr. Appler, or?
Used to be,
It used to be, I know.
I don't know.
So
Who- I
we
don't know who
gotta
does
get
our signs.
somebody
so we
to,
gotta get someone.
True Value does it.
True Value?
Well, that's
You want
right.
it like,
He
like
doesn't
this
know.
type of sign?
Brian.
Out of this
Yeah.
one? True Value does it.
Nature value.
You wanna take care of that, Howard?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we haven't.
Okay. Moving on, old business, sale of Tom Vac property.
Sold.
So you want to explain, because I think we were hoping to get this rolling today, but we didn't get the contract. Do you wanna-
Correct. Yeah, so we, from last meeting, we sent what the broker sent us to our attorney, Ron Blast. Ron Blast looked it over.
Actually send it to Jerry.
Well, then he sent it to Jerry, who's in his office, right? And they came up with a contract that the town, as a township, we can't just take a regular broker's bid and say this is what we want to do. We have to have a contract written up. So we had a contract written up with all the stipulations that we would need, the subject to permissive referendum, so that they know that it could go out to vote, how it should be paid, what we're responsible for, what they're responsible for, all the things that would be in a normal contract that is required by town law. We forwarded that to our realtor, who sent it to their broker, who sent it to their person to overview. But the problem was that the owner who wants to buy the building was away for the past 2 weeks, and he personally wants to view the contract with his attorney. He only just got back just the other day, so he still has the contract. He's still reviewing it with his attorney. Once they're good, they're going to send it back to us. There could be revisions that they might not like. Then we have to say, are we acceptable to those revisions? They could send it back and say they're acceptable to everything we gave them. Then we could come back next meeting with a vote for a resolution. based on the contract, and then that contract, basically, we're saying, we're gonna be voting on, do we agree with the sale of Tomback, and do we give permission to the supervisor to sign the said contract? And of course, that resolution is subject to permissive referendum. So we're doing it all the right way. We're giving the buyer time and his due diligence to work with his attorney, and basically we're in a negotiating phase with the contract to make sure that it's all legal. So right now, we haven't got that back from them, so I would assume by next week we'll get something back from them. That'll go to Ron and Jerry, who's part of their office that's overseeing the sale. So stay tuned to next week. Obviously, we'll post it on our website. Once we get a contract that is acceptable by both parties, we'll put it out there prior to the meeting.
Yeah, and I just, I want just clarification on this. So I've been all along against the sale of Tomback, but the way things have been talked about was that I'm the one who's starting the petition for a permissible referendum to go to a mandatory, but that's not true. I haven't started any petitions. So basically, the law states that, and it's the law, Town Law 642 makes the sale of town land to a private party subject to permissible referendum. Within 10 days of the date, the resolution to adopt, accepting an offer, the clerk will post and publish a notice of that effect. That's Town Law 90. The public then has 30 days from the date of the resolution is adopted to file a petition with the town clerk. If no petition is filed, the sale may proceed without voter approval. If a petition is received, the sale is subject to voter approval during either a special town election or the biannual town election. So that's the law. The law is, it's not Al Lanzetta's law, it's the town law. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Al, I think everybody on the board's aware of that.
I didn't say it to the board.
Okay.
I'm saying it so there's people
Okay.
in the town realize that
Okay.
I just didn't come up with this idea myself to start a petition not to sell it, but it's actually town law. That's right. I know you guys know it.
Okay.
So that's where we're at with that. So stay tuned, right?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Sure.
And we're gonna have discussion on alternative things that we're looking at right under new business, so there'll be a bigger discussion on what we're gonna do if it sells and maybe even if it doesn't sell. So that's the discussion, right?
Absolutely. Okay, design standards for Route 9W corridor overlay district. I think that goes with the CAC. We extended the LWRP, right, Howard? And on the 15th, I think Rosemary and, are you going to the?
Tomorrow, we're going
Yeah.
to the CFA
Yeah,
meeting.
I can't make that. I'm going up to Kingston. I have a meeting up in Kingston.
Okay, so tomorrow, just for your awareness, I guess Rosemary and I are going to the workshop that the state holds for the CFA application process, so we'll get, that'll kind of kick something off. And then at 2 o'clock tomorrow, we have a call with John Behan to
Yep.
talk to him about.
Actually, John's going to be here.
Oh, will he
We're going to discuss the grant that we got approval from the parks for the 98,000.
Yes.
There's money there to do something.
Okay.
So we're going to have a meeting with John.
Yep.
I invited Alan and Gail and myself and you to discuss the engineering of that, how that cascade goes.
Right.
And so that's right across the street from the train station.
Right. So that's 2 o'clock tomorrow, 9 o'clock is in Hyde Park to
Yep.
workshop, but you're not going to go to.
No, I got the supervisors meeting, and they're going to
Yeah,
talk
but
about
the
recycling.
LWRP, basically, it's still being reviewed by the state and the legal people, so let them do their thing and
Right.
see what comes out
We
of
got
it.
an extension to 2019, so. Route 9W corridor study, I haven't heard anything, Howard, have you? I know that they were,
Just that the, again, the state wanted some more detail, some more data, so I think they're going to do some more work.
DOT, yeah, they required some more.
Somebody, the consultant's going to do more work on behalf of the DOT to get the data they need to make sure that if they do this reconfiguration, it's not going to screw things up. That's where I think we're at, so.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you.
Yep.
So I put down zoning changes because I don't think we really came to any satisfactory conclusion on that. And Ed, you have the latest. I can't find my...
I got mine here.
You got the one? Thank you.
What, these?
Okay, so the first thing, and thanks to Councilman Corcoran, who was at the meeting, really did a great job detailing what occurred at that meeting. So the first one was, I want to just give me some direction here, how the board would like to go. I sent the noise ordinance, Chapter 105, noise. There was little changes made to that, right, Howard? Decimal and hours changed?
Not
Right.
much, Jerry.
Not much
knows.
at all.
Mhm. It's
something-
minor.
Minor changes, right? Chief Kokoza was involved in that. So I'd like to send that to legal. Would you like to take this one at a time, or we just...
No, it's one at a time, it's okay, I don't,
Do them all? Okay.
yeah.
So the private road is Chapter 130. That's a request from Tom Corcoran. And also the planning board really liked it, because right now it says that you could have a private road as long as you want it to be, and it's up to the planning board's discretion. So we wanted to go back to the old way, which was 4 on a private road. You get 2 more if it's on a adjacent, like Latin Town Road or major road. So that would be 6 altogether. The other thing is, I think there was a little debate about this with Mr. Corcoran, Councilman Corcoran. That was the zoning map change, and that's the one Mr. Jeff from Aldridge, and he needed a change from R1 to RHE1 for contingency use, and so there's one that's next to it. It's the compost place that's in R also, which should be in RAG1. And I sent letters to both of those property owners with the SBL. And I think it would be a good thing to change it to RAG1. Mr. Jeff Aldridge would like to put a solar farm up there. And in order to do that, you have to change it from R1 to RHE1. Footnote to zoning schedule 1, note to include AG setback 75 feet. That's from Mr. Corcoran. And removal of verbiage under building permit B1, chapter 67-4. And it's also from Mr. Corcoran. So I'd like to send all these to legal, but I asked the board's direction or opinion, and if you want to discuss any of them. And
What about the ones on the bottom?
I'm going to get to that one. That's their discussion. Right.
I'm fine with all the top ones.
Okay, so we're moving along.
Everybody else?
Yeah, no. I'm fine
Everybody
with
else okay?
I'm okay, I just have to abstain from the last one.
Okay. So, and then I put down discussion because zoning R district with public water and sewer right now stands, it's 10,000 square feet. And if we add gas to make it, it'll make it to 7,500 square feet. And so, talking to the person who owns this property and the applicant, he was going to supply the town with some drawings, so this way we can make a realistic. And unfortunately, he had back problems, and he hasn't had a chance, but he told me the other day he's doing that. So I think once that comes in, then we could discuss that one?
Yes.
Okay. And so the height regulation changed from 35 feet maximum stories of, which right now is 35 feet and the maximum story height of 2.5 stories. There was a discussion to change it to 45 feet, maximum stories 4 stories. And talking to the fire chiefs and Councilman Koenig, that they feel comfortable to do this, but they also expressed that maybe this would be something that we could put in the back burners, and if anybody did want to do that, that we would be a good discussion between the fire department and the board here.
I think we also had it so where we weren't, I mean, I know this is up for discussion, so it's just a general statement that you're putting out there, but we were talking about specific areas of town, not opening up.
HD.
It would have to be on HD, within the water district, and there would have to be a lot of caveats that,
Right.
that obviously go with it. So I know you just wrote it like that. So,
Yeah, I did.
which is fine, but yeah, there were other ones. I mean, I think myself and I think a few other board members agree that this could and would attract a different kind of businesses than we've been attracting as of late, and maybe some hotels and whatever it may be, so.
I'd like to move on that one. You don't.
I want to move on it, I don't want to sit on it.
You don't want to sit down?
No.
Mr. Tronsolini thought it would be a good bargaining chip to sit down if somebody came in. It's
That's
almost
spot
like
zoning.
giving away the farm.
That's spot zoning, we're not giving away the farm, they still have to go in front of the
No, it's
planning
not
board.
spot zoning, it's, we're doing highway development, so it's a floating zone.
I think
But
the
it would
whole
have to
idea
be,
behind it is
it would have to be in writing in order for it to be a floating zone, we can't.
Well, if somebody comes in and it's
I wanna
not
attract business.
zoned,
That's why I'm thinking if you have it,
Yeah, you
it's kinda
can't
like
just,
it's already done.
no, you
Someone
can't
doesn't have
just.
to wait,
yeah.
I wanna buy this property now, let's hope that the town board's it's gonna be another
Who's
Bayside.
gonna do that? You're gonna.
It's gonna be another
It's gonna be another
Bayside
10-year
project.
project.
Just have it done, so it's already done.
Will continue.
They're
If
still
we
gonna
feel
have.
that way, I mean,
yeah.
I'm just speaking myself, I mean, if the board feels that way,
No, I mean, we could
My
put,
opinion,
we
I
could
would
put
like
something
to-
in that zoning that the criteria of the building would have to meet, would have to meet the ideals of the respective fire department.
I think if we give it to the legal, they can.
Yeah, I mean, this
We
is in the
can word
commercial
something
zone,
in
right?
there.
We're talking business corridor zone, water, sewer,
Yeah, definitely water.
Doesn't take.
water and sewer, right?
Well, definitely water.
And gas would be
You know
preferred.
what I mean? But
Which one are you talking
you
about,
gotta
the
at least
first
put
one?
it in black and white so the prospective buyer can say, okay, he's gonna definitely have to go in front of the planning board, and it's still gonna be a bargaining process. It's just, you can't use it as a carrot on a stick either.
I'm more in favor of your approach, Al, or let's back burner it a little bit, but,
Let's vote.
Why would you backburner it? I mean, if we have,
because I don't know that we really need 45 feet, 4-story buildings on 9W in the town of Marlborough. I don't know if it's really what the town of Marlborough is looking to attract along our 9W corridor.
I mean, where do you get?
That's just my opinion. I just think that a 4-story hotel in the town of Marlborough is really not in line with all the other things we've been talking about in terms of having 9W reflect the rest of the town, which is not Route 9 in Dutchess County, it's 9W in Marlborough. So that's just my opinion. I don't see a need for it. I think a 35, if a hotel would want to come into Marlborough, 2 stories, 35 feet, whatever that is, 2.5 stories would be certainly adequate. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see it really fits in with the town. So that's my opinion. So I'm not going to stand in anybody's way. That's just my opinion. That's why I
We should
think.
just take a vote, take a roll call, take a roll call, and then we can move on.
Take a vote.
That's all.
Just wanted to hear.
This is just to go to legal, I mean, it's not to.
That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, I kind of like the stick in the cat, so I'll go along with Howard. So, make the
Want me to
motion.
poll the board?
So,
What are we?
first of all,
We're just voting on going to legal.
the first 5 items, I make a motion that we go to legal with those first 5 bullet items, which is the noise ordinance, the private road, the zoning map change, the footnote in zoning schedule 1, and I could give you these, and removal of the verbiage under building permit B1. And now, so we did determine to wait to see for the applicant to do some drawings for us as far as the increasing the 10,000 square feet to 7,500 square feet, adding the natural gas. So the motion will be on the height regulation change from 35 feet maximum stories of 2.5 to 45 feet maximum stories to 4 stories.
So the vote is to what? To send it to legal for them
Yeah.
to put some verbiage together? Okay.
Yeah.
This would be only in the highway district, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna make sure.
And it has-
We can't send it like that, because, yeah, that's what I was saying. I know in this form, this is what you wanted
No,
for
I
discussion.
just wanted for discussion. I
Yeah.
know what it has to be.
It's gonna have to be.
I know what it has to be.
Highway districts, water and sewer,
Right.
Which is
Only.
a lot of property.
Very
So you want to vote for everything?
well, I'm gonna make a motion.
Just,
So Al made a motion on the first 5.
Right.
Let's do that first.
Do that first, and
Yeah.
then do the one about
Yeah.
the
just a
storage.
comment,
Yeah.
just a comment on the first,
Exactly.
on the first 5, just so.
We all agree on the first.
Just so the public understands, the first 5 we discussed, and really, a lot of these came from our building inspector, Tommy Corcoran, as things we should change, and the planning board, I think, and the zoning board has weighed in on these, the first 5 we talked about.
Yeah, we
right?
weighed on them, we had a meeting with the planning
Those are
board.
pretty
And I
straightforward.
also would request that, Al, according to that meeting, we had that, when these come in, that we send them to the planning board before we
Yes.
vote.
Yes, exactly.
Before we
brought to my
vote, I
attention.
want them to go to the planning board for their review,
Right.
and then give them back to us that they're okay,
Yeah, for their comment, right.
for any comments.
Correct. So I made the motion.
I'll second it for all 5 of those to go to legal.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So move. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's the height regulation. So, Councilman Corcoran, do you want to make a motion?
I can't read, I can't
What do
see.
you mean you can't see? Where's the-
Didn't bring his readers.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we also send to legal the height regulation change from 35 feet to 45 feet. Maximum storage was 2.5 to now 4 stories. And this is only in the highway development or business corridor zones
With water and sewer.
with water and sewer. Only.
And we could put in there, and a discussion and presentation with respect to fire district. I believe we can put it in there.
That would,
Why not?
That's my concern, too.
Oh, yes, that's,
I mean, they should weigh in anyway.
what
but
do you want to
that's
add to that?
what's that?
What did you want to add to the motion?
To say that it would be with discussion and presentation to the respective fire district. 'Cause there's two
You got
fire
that,
districts.
Colleen? I'll add that to my motion.
And add that to Scott's motion it's your
So
motion.
there's my motion. You want to second it?
I'll second that.
I guess all in favor.
And you could poll the board,
Okay.
please.
Councilman Malinelli,
Yes.
Councilman Koenig,
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta,
No.
no. Councilman Corcoran,
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
No.
Okay, and the last one. Thank you, gentlemen. We discussed about 2 residential units above a commercial unit, only in the Hamlet or HD zone. And so I think if you went to that, I think you would go above the 35 feet. But since you're changing the 35 feet to 45 feet, we could consider that too now.
2 stories on top of one won't go for 35.
Yeah, I think it'd be 3, like if you did
It'll
a
be
main.
more.
No, I
It
wouldn't.
would do 35?
That's 3 stories.
Frankie's Village Market has 2.
You could go 35.
I'm pretty sure Stephanie's does too. Studio at Stephanie's?
So I don't know what this one is about.
It's
I
because
remember-
currently, right now, if you go, currently you only could put one
Yeah.
One
residential above
commercial.
the
Oh, that's
commercial.
already been-
That's the only thing you could do. So
Although,
what came up is Bill from the
Bill.
ZBA asked, why can't we have 2 residentials above a commercial, like a lot of the older buildings that were in town had?
well, isn't Frankie's like that?
So the
Yeah,
reason,
Frankie's had 2
Pre-existing.
before.
so the reason
That was
for that,
pre-existing?
Yeah, reason for commercial and one residential is fire,
Fire
right?
code, right.
Right?
Right.
So of
And-
course, if you go higher, you need all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fire stuff, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that during the day, the commercial is busy, but during the night, the residential is busy, right? Because the people leave. So, that's
So
the reason for that.
what we're talking about here is allowing two residentials above a commercial unit.
Right.
In the hamlet or HD zones.
Right.
Correct. Which it already exists now.
Which the hammer's what, C1, I think?
Yeah, but it's not codified.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's
Yeah.
been around town since I was a kid.
I mean, there have been talks, I know you got talked to.
But we're also, yeah, I mean,
Robert wants to do 3 above.
No, that's okay.
and
That
that's
ain't
too
gonna
high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think 2 is pretty reasonable because we have most of the buildings like that already. We
Yeah.
just currently
Very reasonable.
don't allow it
more
anymore.
than that.
So we agreed to send that to Lee.
Yeah, and that would,
Yeah.
obviously with code would be sprinklered and everything else, so it'd be a big difference.
Yeah, third floor.
Do you have all that, Kelly?
We all that, that's
What's
international
that?
code, so.
I have a lot of it.
So on the last
It's
one,
being taped, so.
the last one, we'll make a motion that we're gonna send to, the attorney, that we're gonna allow 2 residential units above a commercial unit in the hamlet or the HD zone.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? So moved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We're moving.
All right, man. Go,
Okay.
go. Make 9 o'clock.
New business. Change May 28th meeting date. I guess 28th is what, Memorial Day?
Memorial Day.
And that's, yeah, we should go Tuesday.
Tuesday
Upstairs.
is court, right?
Yeah, so
So we'll go upstairs.
Sure we'll be able to
So
fit
we'll
everybody?
change it to upstairs, the conference room?
School conference room?
Yeah, the big conference room.
So we'll have to, I'll have to call that, I'll speak to Jackie tomorrow
Okay.
about it.
We should be all right. If not, train station or something.
And the other thing is, as far as, I sent you the LED, the mass replacement breakdown. I think we were discussing that, and it seems like we're in favor of spending the money and doing that. So,
Hey, what was the payback, Al? 2 years on that? I
yeah,
remember
it
we
was
discussed
pretty
It's quick.
much, right, Howard?
2.5 years.
It was pretty quick, yeah. I don't remember the exact number.
I think it was 2.5 years.
So it was within 3, yeah.
And then we have, what was it, the 39,000?
Yeah. If I find that here, I got it right here. So, the latest thing, because we went down, basically, in fixtures and LED lights, right now, we're at a total of $299. And it used to be $313. So, there's a $37,840, that's the amount we have to come up with. There's an incentive of $7,541. And there's a savings.
Yeah, it's 2.5 years.
um,
I think it was 12, wasn't
I think it's close to 14,000 a year.
It's done 2 years.
Yeah, so it's pretty close.
So by the third year, it'd be.
And the reason for the meeting was that she's afraid that the incentives are going to go away.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
go.
All right. So I need a motion.
I'll make the motion, I'm the lighting district.
I'll second.
Spend the money.
Yes.
So I have a motion from Mr. Councilman Malinelli to go into agreement with Central Hudson to pay the amount of $37,840. It has an EE incentive of $7,541. And that's quite a bit of kilowatt hours saved on that. So I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So Charlie, you're going to keep your eye on it, right? Okay, thank you.
Charlie's our main guy. That's how come we got down from 313 to 299. There you go. It's probably down to 93 now. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. Also, the police officers do a good job too of they call it in. Okay, moving right along. We have the Marlborough High School site evaluation for community center. You want to talk about that, Scott?
Yeah, me and Alan, and then we talked with Eddie too, but me and Alan had met with Phil Bell, our town engineer, and Tom Corcoran, and we also talked to Patrick Witherow and Michael Brooks on a separate occasion. I think obviously Al has too. So in regards to this, it's because we have a possible sale of Tomback. So this came back up to the bubble. We've been talking about this probably for over a year, right? Of getting a new community center for the seniors and for people to rent out during the winter times or in regular times for parties and things in the town, and adding to that a recreational part of the building possibly too, and having one building or two buildings all on one site that we could build from scratch, that is built for what it's supposed to be for. And it'll be on a property. We've been looking, right, Alan, for a property that was not on the tax rolls, probably will never be on the tax rolls. Vice versa from Tomback, which could be on the tax rolls. It's in the highway development districts in the commercial zone. So we were looking at, we have some monies that Al was able to get from Frank Scartatos before he passed, and is still available to us. And Al, thank you, went and checked, can we use it for sites other than our own site, and it could be on the school property and be used. So we got $250,000 grant there that we can use towards this. If we sell the Tomback building for $380, and after fees and stuff, we have $350. We add that into the group. We do have some rec committee fees, and also talking to, when I did talk to Local 17, Mr. Diorio, he actually has a $125,000 grant for that particular site up at the high school too, for upgrades to the fields and stuff through Senator Larkin, that he said we could also tap into. So there's a lot of possibilities here to actually get grant monies and monies from the state and possibly utilize this site. And this site that we're looking at currently, there's a couple sites, but the current one we were looking at is up at the high school, and this is behind the baseball fields. I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago, Ralph, you probably know, that they purchased that property, 5 acres of land. They were originally going to build their offices there, and possibly at the same time also put some fields in when they were doing it. So we talked about that site, and the trade-off when we talked to the school originally was, they could possibly lease us this property, give us this property, sell us this property for like nothing. And Al had a meeting with them today about where we can go with that. There's different possibilities, how that works. We're in the infancy stage right now, so we're not sure how it would go forward. We as a board would have to send a letter to the school board, right, Al? Mm-hmm. To say we're very, very interested in doing this, and then they would get back to us how they would do that. They have already talked to their attorney just briefly to see how we possibly can do it, but nothing formal yet. So I just want to give you an update too. We did also look at 2 other sites, right, Alan? Mm-hmm. One would be at the Marlborough Elementary School in the back part of Young's, at the end of Young's Road, by where the by the big baseball field is right now. Okay, in the back there, which we thought that was a good site. Obviously, it's flat, sewer, water.
A light there.
There's a light there that you could turn into the property. There's already a paved road. So it's a very, very good spot too. I think we actually wanted to make that our #1 spot. In talking to the school, and we had some concerns, is that we were looking at using this maybe possibly during the daytime too, of course with the seniors at 1 o'clock, and pulling into that road when school's in session probably wouldn't be the best idea for cars to be coming in as kids go to the playground. And that's why the school, at the high school, that doesn't come into play. It's off a town road already, and it would have its own entrance, and it's far away from the kids. And then there was another location that Mike Brooks also mentioned, and that was behind the middle school where the current old basketball court and tennis courts are. That's another site that could possibly work. There'd be some more, it's not as big as a site. It's not as big as a property. There'd be some road construction that would have to go into play, maybe some easements that would have to be done, so it's a little harder to utilize that property. It could come off of Bayside possibly, that's another thing.
That'd be the only
If
one
Bayside
really
was willing to donate some possible property at the bottom of that.
Or easement.
Or for an easement of some kind. But there's a lot of things there. The thing about the high school, it's already there, it's vacant, it's not being used, it hasn't been used. The school would like to have another field, and they would use that as kind of like a shared trade-off service of getting this property. So we did talk to Phil Bell. Phil Bell came back with a proposal for us to look at that site, how it would fit a building that we had talked about. Now, we talked about a building from anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 square feet. That would be, one side would be a recreational side of the building, one side would be a community side of the building. The recreational side of the building we were looking at is probably about the size of this right here, of this gym. I know talking to Howard and some other, maybe we don't need this big of a site, you know, so that's some things we have to discuss. I went up and saw Zumba people last week. Man, 30 people there, they do a great job, so. They don't really, it doesn't really matter to them if it's high ceilings, low ceilings. They like the intimacy of a lower ceiling only because it's, you know, they have their disco ball going and all the different things they got going. But they didn't really seem to matter with that. They just wanted to have a little bigger space and a little more leg room in there. I know Alan is definitely in favor of a bigger room like this, mainly because then you could open it up to our own real rec center where there's a 3-quarter basketball, volleyball. It opens it up to baseball, inside pitching and things like that, batting cages. So there's different uses. Now, we've had discussions also with the school, and I know I'm going long, but I just want to give you everything. We had discussions with the school about utilizing their facilities. You know, and this is just discussions we've had with Mr. Brooks. Again, their board has not been informed of all the things we're talking about today. These are open discussion that we're finally having that we're going to hopefully bring to their board. And then maybe they can have a discussion, and then we'll probably have a discussion together, right? But possibly utilizing their facilities for the bigger rec activities like volleyball, basketball, because they already have the gymnasiums. And then maybe we scale down our facility a little and make it, it's still 2 rooms, but maybe not as tall and less costly. So those are what we have to figure out, because once we finally get a cost back, what we can fit there and things like that, we would get a better understanding. So
you said that Mr. Bell is looking at an 8,000 to 10,000 square foot facility?
Yep. So we based it, we first said like 4,000 square feet each, something like that. And then Mr. Corcoran, Thomas Corcoran said, well, why wouldn't you just go 10,000 square feet? So I said, well, because we're trying to preserve money. You know, every square foot you go more, the more money it will cost, right? So this room here is about 40 by 80. Off the top of my head, if I remember right, Jerry, I believe that's what this room always was, 40 by 80, and that would include taking out the office space there and to here. I think that goes right to the stage.
Right there, right?
No, I think 40 by 80 is to here to the restroom door. I mean, we could double measure, but that's about the size of a room. So 40 by 80 is what, 3,200 square feet? So 4,000 is a little bigger than this.
Should be plenty.
Which is plenty, I think. So, and for a community center, it's definitely plenty, but you would take part of it like that and make a kitchen area out of it, right? So you would lose it, and you have bathrooms. Obviously, you have to have bathrooms. And the school likes it up there, too, because they have no bathrooms up by the baseball fields or any of that facility. Softball fields don't have any of that, so they would like to see like an indoor-outdoor use bathroom facility if we all go together. And again, this is discussions. There's a lot of work that would go into this site, a lot of time and money. So again, we don't want to burden the taxpayers with monies, but this is something I know not everybody on this board is very adamant, but I know I'm very adamant at doing regardless if Tomback sells, even if we could afford to do it. And then if Tomback didn't sell, I would look to try to rent Tomback to help offset costs, and move these facilities. But it's a good, that's going further. But I'm just saying, I'm in favor of moving forward regardless. I just want to make that known. Regardless if we sell Tomback or not, I'm in favor of, my personal opinion is to move forward on doing this regardless, because my opinion is, we always wait and wait and wait and wait, and we don't do it. I think you just do it, and then you let the other stuff try to wash its way out. It's a good opportunity because I didn't think, and I know Alan and myself, we didn't really even think the school district would be interested, but the two people we talked to, again, it's not the school board, but the superintendent and the district manager, Patrick, was very, very excited about this possibility of working. And again, it's going to come down to money, like everything else. So we have a proposal from Phil to develop a site plan, feasibility site plan for this site. And the reason we asked for this is because this is what the school asked from us. Mike Brooks said, basically, you show me a plan, and then I could show it to my school board. Because the school board is not going to be able to just say yes or no to something if they don't really know visually what we're talking about here. And his bill is for $2,800 to do this, and I would be asking the town board to allocate using monies to do this, so we could have this plan, and then we could set up the meetings with the school, and we could give it to them, and then they could have their discussions with their board.
So, just on that, thank you very much, Councilman Corcoran. So, talking to Patrick Wilderall, had him send me what the attorney would say, so I just want to just read this out loud. He says, I spoke to our attorney regarding information you had requested regarding the process. If the town wishes to approach the district regarding sale, lease of district-owned property to the town for the purpose of recreation/community center. Legal has advised that any sale or infinite lease period will require the district to seek a permissible referendum. The lease of property for a finite period of time of 10 years lease with one 10-year renewal maximum term would not require a permissible referendum. Any lease would require consideration and exchange for the lease. That being said, please aware that the district administration has not had any discussion with the Board of Education regarding this inquiry. If the town wishes to approach the district to open formal discussion regarding this as a possibility in the future, the town should put a request to open such dialogue in writing to the superintendent of school. So I wouldn't mind voting for this, but if it could be on contingents that I write this to the administration to get their board on board, I would not have a problem doing this. I could write the letter either tonight or tomorrow morning and send it to Patrick. He could have it at his next board meeting. And if the board is on board, I'm on board to paying this $2,900, because I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I've been asking all along, even though I oppose the sale of Tomback, what is our alternative? And so you're proposing this alternative, even though it's not pro bono, but you can't ask for, I guess, it's his livelihood. So I'd be in favor of spending money as long as the school board is on board with this whole discussion. That's the only thing I could say.
I'm okay with the resident being that way. I'll vote that way. That's fine with me.
So if after their next school board meeting, if they're on board, then the money is already
Then
been
the money
allocated.
goes
That's fine. I don't want to waste it if they're not on board.
That's fine. I'm fine.
Is it
Yeah, like I
Thursday,
said,
this Thursday?
the school board hasn't been notified.
Right.
So again, this is just us bringing it to the superintendent and to Patrick and saying, how do you feel and how do we move forward? And Al got the response back today from them, what they want, so I'm
Maybe they would be willing to
fine with that.
share the cost of this one.
Well, I think that's the discussions we gotta have. Can the school district that's something we had mentioned to him. Can the school district be able to
Yeah.
apply for monies to help with this also?
And I-
Because once we combine our forces, now we're together, it's a little better to be able to go out and say, can we get monies for these things?
Yeah, so that's my motion. Can I make that motion?
Yes, you can.
So the motion is that we would accept the proposal from Bell Engineering on the contingency that the supervisor writes a letter to Patrick Witterall and the superintendent, Michael Brooks, requesting what we would like to see the school board as far as that piece of property is concerned. And upon receiving a favorability on that they all agree, then we talk to Mr. Bell to start the project. And the cost would be $2,800. I make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So we're going to move forward regardless. We're going to find out the cost regardless if we sell the Tomback or not. We're going to look for a rec community center.
Well, that's my opinion.
Okay.
If the school
I
board-
share that opinion.
If the school board says
And
yes.
that'd probably be all on the taxpayer, right? I mean, I don't know what the procedure would be for that, probably. If we had a bond, then definitely it would be a permissible referendum and have that discussion. But it's worthwhile to go through the stages to see what we're doing, like you said, instead of just spinning our wheels here. I agree.
So we did that with the town hall, we don't want to do that with the rec.
We have to have,
Yeah.
we have to have
We
a
should have
plan,
been in
right?
that town hall by now.
But again, you have to have a plan like anything else.
You do.
Exactly, you gotta have to.
I agree.
Base your opinion on.
All right. Highway 284 agreement, Mr. Appler has given me the 284, and I think the board's familiar with that. I need permission to sign that.
We all got to sign it, remember?
Yeah, we do. We all do.
I got no problem with it.
We had
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Let's go. You needed it?
Okay. So we'll all sign it. We're in agreement with the 284?
I got a copy.
Al's got a copy.
I got it right here, too. I got the main copy.
Tina said we don't leave until we all sign.
Wrap it up.
Okay. So where are we? Where are we here? All right, correspondence. I have a few correspondence while it's signing that. I have the Bell engineer. Got the thing from... Okay, we did, I want to thank Steve Gold as our beloved Assemblyman Frank was going through the terrible ordeal of pancreatic cancer. Mr. Gold came up to me and said that Frank wanted to do this and when it wasn't looking good. So there was a time frame when the Assemblyman could put in for a member item. And unfortunately, a lot of people did miss that time frame because they didn't get back. But working with Mr. Gold and my beloved friend Frank Scartatos, we did able to get the $250,000 in. And so I'm proud to announce that I received a letter from the Speaker, Mr. Hasty, and the $250,000 is now a SAM item at the dormitory. And so this all fits in if, because you do it when, I know Scott's aware of this, and Alan also, maybe the other board members too, when you apply for a grant, you have to be very detailed in exactly what that money is going to go for. So that's another good thing to find out what we're doing. So thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
And I think Hi, Colleen, we got this Marlborough High School crossroad, Marlborough, New York. They're looking for, as head baseball coach, I'm responsible for the entire baseball program.
Yeah,
Did we get that one?
yes, it's in the book already.
They would like to do the Town Park Pavilion.
Yeah, for their banquet.
Okay, June the 14th. Okay, we're good. You know, all I can say about this letter is I'm going to wait till Mr. Cochran's here because it's addressed to me and Mr. Cochran. It's not a very good letter. I guess that's the way I could put it. So I can't address this letter, first of all. If you have complaints to the town, man or woman up or whatever the saying is, sign your name to it so we could address it with you. So a lot of these things we actually agree, but it wasn't signed, so I'm not going to address it. I'll talk to Mr. Corcoran about it, and he's aware of it. But a lot of these things Mr. Corcoran and myself and the board are aware of and we're working on. So if you have a complaint, please sign your name. We'll get right back to you. Bad or good, we always answer it. And that's correspondence. This is the time for public comment. So anybody has anything to say, please step up to the microphone, give your name and your address, and somebody beat you to it there, James. Hold on.
Hi, Tom Milham, 56 Sherman Road, Milton, New York. Thank you. I've been here before for the same issues. It seems to be an ongoing thing. Last year, the highway tore up my property. They didn't fix it till October, end of September. So I was wondering, what is a reasonable time frame? Since I listened tonight, you guys have a lot of rules and laws. When you get your mortgage, you got a grace period to pay it. What's reasonable to fix property? If your neighbor's kid was out playing ball, broke your window, if you felt that your kid was responsible, you would fix it right away. But if you didn't feel that you were at fault, you probably wouldn't fix it. So what's a reasonable time frame?
Yeah.
Is that town property or your property? Is that the road right away around the cul-de-sac?
Is it my tax dollars that's paying? I've been paying taxes for over 30 years.
Tom, don't feel like you're alone. I've been paying taxes a lot more than you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want this to get into it. Yeah, I don't want this to get in. So, is it the same damage
I assume
that...
that was taken care of, top of Sherwood Drive. Maybe not to his standards, but I'll go up in the morning and take a look at it.
Okay,
And
appreciate
I'll
it.
put somebody on it
Okay, thank you.
within the next 2 weeks.
So what's the reasonable time frame?
It's up to that gentleman right here.
Well,
Just said 2 weeks.
It's gonna rain tomorrow. Tomorrow's out. It's gonna rain Thursday. Thursday's trouble. You can't break mud. Everybody's behind. It didn't stop snowing till 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What-
do you think?
He said he would do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, well, I'm asking, it took last year, so I don't want to come back here every year and go through the same thing. So what's a reasonable time frame?
It's according to the weather is what he's trying
Yeah,
to
I
tell you.
think what Gail's telling you is that he's only got so much time for his projects, and then that's with weather permitting, and he's getting backed up. I mean, I didn't mow my lawn for a week and a half. So that's me personally. I got it done tonight. I never mow my lawn on Monday nights, but that was weather. Nothing I can do about it.
You got speaking of right there.
No, I think everybody heard me.
So,
You've got a reasonable response. I guess he said he'd take a look at it and,
Said he'll take a look at it tomorrow, and I'll have it done within 2 weeks.
right.
Okay, well, last year
That
it
seems
took
pretty
till
reasonable. I don't know about last year, and
September, so is that reasonable? Is that how you would feel, that if somebody damaged your property, that it would take 6 months to fix something?
Tom,
You don't even do it. You couldn't get that from the county or anybody else. They laugh at it. Go to town number. They laugh at it.
the county digs up my lawn every year.
Me too.
Every year, I fix it. I don't expect them to fix it. They're never gonna fix it. So, I understand that this is an issue with you, but I think Mr. Appler's being pretty reasonable. He's gonna look at it tomorrow and give it, in 2 weeks, it'll be fixed. And that's, I think, the response.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
You're welcome. James?
James Garofalo, 3 Young Avenue. I just wanted to clarify with regard to the 4-story building and the 2 residential above commercial for the public, that these would have sprinklers in them.
I said that, I brought
Yes.
that up. The
That's
international
by
code.
state code.
Yep.
Well, it's international, we have more state codes.
International, right.
Well, I just wanted to make sure it was
brought it
very
up.
clear.
I brought it up though.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Dave, you got anything?
just hanging out. He had nothing to do tonight.
Mr. Walters?
I'd just like to have something clarified from the last board meeting, which there were 3 councilmen, Corcoran, Molinelli, and Koenig, were in attendance. Discussion was had about the Tomback building and grant money. I brought up the fact that there were 2 grants, and Mr. Corcoran and the other 2 agreed that there was only one, and that I kept saying 250. That was the Scartatas money. All right? I'm going to stand corrected. There was a $300,000 possible grant. There was a motion made at the July 11th, 2016 meeting when 4 members of the board were present. It was a $300,000 grant. There was a vote that night for submitting an application that had to be done within several days. I believe it was by the 13th of July.
And this was the 11th?
This was on the 11th. The meeting vote was 2-2. Therefore, that grant was not ever submitted. But yet, the 3 board members at the last meeting insisted there was not another grant involved with possibly fixing the Tomback property. And I just want that to be corrected in the minutes.
It wasn't
a grant.
a grant that we
It
had.
was it was a possible grant.
We asked, we had a grant.
You asked if we had a grant.
You asked if we have a grant. and
I
we
said there
no.
was a grant that was being voted on.
It's not what you said.
That's not what you
Ralph.
said. You said we had there were more grants.
Well, you can make it sound whatever way you want, Ed.
Okay.
All I'm telling you is read the minutes from July 11th, 2016,
Well,
and what you voted on.
I'm just saying, Ralph, I don't think we need to adjust our minutes, because that's not what you asked us. You asked us, is there another grant? And we said no. That is correct. That was what you asked us.
I said, was there another grant?
Right.
There was a possible grant.
That's not a grant. It's a possible grant.
In my eyes, it's a grant
Well, then
that you should have said, yes, there was a possible one, but you 3 said it was the same 250.
We said we have 250 in the grants. That's all we have at this time.
But you kept
And that's all we do
insisting
have.
that it was the same 250.
It's a 250
Okay.
for Frank.
All right,
All right. Move on.
All right, now I got a question about the last resolution. Do I ask it now, or do you want me to wait till then?
You could ask it now, Ralph.
All right, you got a resolution to provide additional police at the schools.
Right.
It doesn't say that they're going to pay for this. Are they going to be paying for this service?
Now you have to read you have to read the agreement, the MOU, that the chief, myself, and the board members have looked at. And yes, they pay everything. They pay for the officers' time, which is a fixed hourly rate. They pay for their retirement, they pay for their insurance, they pay for anything that we would pay for if we had a part-time police.
Right, but it doesn't say that in this,
That-
what says here.
It's in actually in the actual.
Are you going to read that whole agreement?
The agreement? If you want me to, I can, but,
Why don't you give him a copy?
I could give you a copy of it. Would
I
that
just-
satisfy you?
I just want to know what we're paying for, and
We aren't
again,
paying for anything.
we're not.
No,
Other
we're
than
not.
what we're currently paying for.
Is that
One-
correct, Chief? We're not paying a dime.
We're paying right now one resource officer, the DARE officer, and the crossing guard.
Correct. That's according to the
The
lease.
second
agreement.
resource officer, the school district is reimbursing us. There's a third one now?
This is the agreement to
Yeah,
put the third one.
yeah, but right now, there's only a
We're
second.
only paying for those first three things you said.
There's one in every school.
Yeah,
Right. See, what my concern is,
Right.
that the town of Marlborough is providing services to the school district, all right? The residents of the school district take in more than the town of Marlborough, namely town of Newburgh and a little bit of Plattekill. Those people are getting a benefit from the town of Marlborough taxpayers. So that the school district should be paying for every bit of the services that we provide. I understand the first three things that I mentioned are all tied in with this building,
right.
right?
And the other things, Ralph,
But the rest of them, the school should always pay
the
for.
school district is paying for
Right.
everything.
100%. So we're splitting it with Newburgh and Plattekill on our school taxes, but it's better than us paying it. I get what you're saying.
For the first three.
Yes. Yes.
Shared service.
Ralph, I can make a copy of this for you.
I might have mine.
You have one?
If I got it, he can have
This
it.
is the main one that I have to sign.
If not, just make a copy.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, but like you say, sign your name.
Okay. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Going to the lovely lady in behind. Okay. So, Resolution 44. To support oh man, I'm all tongue-tied here. Pedestrian crossing at the Milton Landing Park. And this is for to go to CSX and get there. We have to give this resolution that the board is in favor. We give this with a plan of where we like the crossing to be down at the landing. CSX sets up a meeting with the town, and then from there, it goes to the DOT. And then the DOT has a judge that reviews what CSX is saying and what DOT is saying, and therefore gives us our approval or denial for the crossing. We always have the main crossing. That crossing is always going to be ours. But we're trying to get a second crossing for a pedestrian crossing, which would allow pedestrians to cross the railroad tracks safely. Right now, there's a little bell that rings, and so our vision down there is maybe in a couple years of what we'll have the South Pier fixed, and the clear water will dock there. Kids will come off and go to the schools or have something right there. And so that crossing helps us to do that in a more safe way. So that's the process. So that's what this resolution is. So whereas the town of Marlborough has adopted a master plan for the Milton Waterfront Park, and whereas the necessity of providing safe pedestrian crossing the railroad tracks to access the Hudson Riverside, lower portion of Milton Landing was noted, and whereas meeting with the town officials, New York State DOT and CSX representatives have identified improvements to existing grade crossing and an additional pedestrian crossing at points south of the existing crossing as recommended improvements. And whereas these improvements will be a collaborative effort by all stakeholders, be it resolved that the town of Marlborough supports efforts to improve the waterfront park plan to include these improvements to protect the public health, safety, and welfare, and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli.
Yes.
Councilman Koenig.
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes. Resolution 45 to authorize Supervisor Lanzetta of the Town of Marlborough to sign the intermunicipal agreement with the Marlborough Central School District. Whereas the Marlborough Central School District desires the opportunity to have police presence in their building for the purpose of providing security to its students, administration, and employees. And whereas the Town of Marlborough and the Marlborough Central School District wish to enter into intermunicipal agreement to provide school resource officers assigned to the district. Be it resolved that the town board authorize the town supervisor to sign the agreement with the Marlborough Central School District and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli.
Yes.
Councilman Koenig.
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes. That's about it, gentlemen.
Can I make a motion?
Go right ahead.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.